Antonio Brown forced his way out of the Steelers organization because he didn't have guarantees. He was then traded to the Raiders, who restructured his contract and added more than $12 million a year to his initial deal, and they gave him $30 million guaranteed in the first 2 years, and he wound up losing this money without playing a single game. After the guarantee money was voided, he asked to be traded or released, and they granted his wish. He then signed a 1-year deal with the Patriots worth $15 million with incentives and a $9 million signing bonus. However, he would never see that money. He played 1 game, and after 11 days, he was cut. This is how AB managed to lose $40 million in guaranteed money in less than a month. March 9th, AB announced on his Twitter that he was officially a Raider. He was super excited, even posting pictures of Derek Carr and he at the Pro Bowl stating, "Love at first sight." The Raiders traded a 3rd and a 5th round pick in the 2019 draft, and they gave him a new contract worth $50.1 million with $30.1 million guaranteed the first 2 years. He fly out and visit Derek Carr, and they immediately began to work out. And Coach John Gruden was super excited to have an explosive wideout. But little did they know, AB was about to turn their lives into a living hell. Training camp was about to become a circus, and the drama began early. April 7th, he got into it with a Steelers fan and Steelers reporter after he posted these words of wisdom that he should have followed. "Keep your emotions off the internet." A Steelers fan responded with a photo of Juju, who was voted the team's MVP. This got under AB's skin because he had an unrequited beef with Juju until then. AB responded, "Emotions? Boy fumbled the whole postseason in the biggest game of the year. Everyone went blind, too busy making guys famous. Not enough reality these days. By the way, check the list." Juju later got wind of it and threw a subliminal tweet. "Keep your emotions off the internet." Before going on to state, "All I ever did was show that man love and respect from the moment I got to the league. I was genuinely happy for him too when he got traded to Oakland with a big contract, and now he takes shots at me on social media. Crazy how big that ego got to be to take shots at people who shows you love." Before he quoted Mark Twain, "Never argue with a fool. Onlookers may not be able to tell the difference." However, AB wasn't done. He posted a screenshot of the text messages between he and Juju trying to embarrass him, but only to make himself look like a bigger fool. Juju posted, "What up, AB? I'm a receiver at the University of Southern California. I appreciate all your work. You're a great man on and off the field. Do you have any tips that can help me take my game to the next level? Thanks, man." Now, this text simply proved everything Juju stated. This little spat would, of course, trend Twitter. However, AB's behavior would escalate. July 26, AB arrived at training camp in a hot air balloon. However, he wasn't able to participate in practice because he had frostbitten feet. It was a result of not wearing the proper footwear when getting cryotherapy. Now, cryotherapy is when an athlete stands in a chamber or room that is cooled below a negative 100 degrees. The person stays in the chamber for about 2 to 4 minutes. Now, cryotherapy is seen as a quicker and more efficient alternative to ice baths. In a Hard Knocks interview, he stated, "I was literally on vacation in Paris and I was training, and I was trying cold therapy to recover my body, and I got out and I felt my foot burning. So I was like, man, I feel a hot sensation. The next 24 hours it swelled up and it got really big. I couldn't really walk or put pressure. The doctor came over and drained a little out, scalpeled the next day, freaking scissors the next day. Just kind of let it leak all out. As everything leaked all out, I was able to put a lot of pressure. Thankfully, my trainer was working me out in the midst of my freaking injury. I can't be on my feet. I'm crawling in workout." His frostbitten feet weren't the only thing keeping him from participating in camp. He had a bigger issue with his helmet. July 30th. After practicing twice, AB left training camp for a second opinion and protest over his helmet. And he refused to return to practice until the matter was resolved. Now, the Raiders had nothing to do with the helmet policy. This was a league issue. The 2019 season, the league enforced a new helmet policy. This required all players to wear a helmet approved by the National Operating Committee for Standards and Athletic Equipment. If a player failed to wear an approved helmet, they'd be disciplined. But surely the league would make an exception for Mr. Big Check. And they did, in fact. They gave him and a few other players like Tom Brady a 1-year waiver for the 2018 season. But this season, the rule would be enforced. However, Mr. Big Chest refused to take no for an answer. When he arrived at OTAs, he asked for the shed of air advantage, the helmet he'd been wearing his entire career and was accustomed to. However, the equipment manager told him he had to choose a different helmet. AB got mad and stated other stars like Aaron Rodgers got to wear the helmet and he stormed off. The equipment manager found a photo of Aaron wearing a league-approved helmet and sent it to AB. He came back the next day and he was cool and he wore the team-approved helmet. A few weeks later, AB had spray painted the old helmet with silver and black and tried to wear it during practice. Someone noticed and told him he couldn't wear the helmet. He once again gave in and wore the league helmet. The situation was resolved, right? No, we're talking about Mr. Big Chest. AB only practiced twice before leaving to get a second opinion on his feet. However, reports came out that AB went AWOL during this time and he wasn't communicating with the team. In fact, they didn't even know where he was. And surprise, surprise, the helmet issue arose again. AB had three options. Find a newer version of the Scout Air Advantage, choose a league-approved helmet, or don't play in the NFL. And AB exhausted all of these options. August 9th, he filed a helmet grievance with the NFL. Reports came out that he informed the Raiders that he would not play unless he was allowed to play in the helmet he was accustomed to. His grievance was denied. However, during the hearing, they stated that if he was able to find a Shed Air Advantage less than 10 years old and it passed safety standards, he could wear it. So AB went on social media and reached out to the fans to try and get the helmet. He said, I'm looking for a Shed Air Advantage, adult large helmet that was manufactured in 2010 or after. In exchange, I will trade a signed practice worn at Raiders helmet. He received multiple helmets and sent them on to be tested. August 18th, the league informed AB that the helmets had failed the test and he'd have to wear a league-approved helmet. In response, AB abruptly left training camp in Napa and went AWOL. The Raiders had enough. Mike Mayock, the GM, came out and made the following statement.
Upset about the helmet issue. We have supported that. We appreciate that, okay? But at this point, we've pretty much exhausted all avenues of relief. So from our perspective, it's time for him to be all in or all out.
This was the beginning of the end. August 19th, AB returned to camp and wore a league-approved helmet like nothing happened. September the 4th, AB posted his fine letter on Instagram. The Raiders fined him a total of $53,950, $40,000 for missing training camp on August the 18th, $13,950 for missing walkthrough practice on August the 22nd. In response to the fine, AB made the fine letter public with the caption, when your own team wants to hate, but there's no stopping me now, devil, is a lie. Everyone got to pay this year, so we clear at Raiders. Later that day, he would confront Mike Mayock, and they got into a verbal altercation at practice. According to multiple reports, AB had to be held back by fellow teammate Vontaze Burfict, and he threatened to hit Mayock in the face. He also allegedly called him a cracker before punting the ball and yelled, "Find me for that," and Mayock would oblige him. September the 5th, AB was suspended and fines were sure to follow. AB was in a peculiar situation. If the Raiders fined him, his contract and guarantee money would be voided. AB would have no leverage and the Raiders would be in complete control. If his contract was voided, he'd essentially be week to week. And if he didn't fall in line, they could cut him without any penalties. September the 6th, AB apologized to the team privately and held a press conference where he publicly apologized in hopes that he wouldn't be fined. But he was still assessed a fine of $215,073.53 for conduct detrimental to the team, which effectively voided his contract, which infuriated him even more. According to Ian Rappaport, AB told me not to come in Thursday, bad my name, when coming to work, gave 2 papers after the press conference. No guarantees, no way. Now, I assume these papers informed him he had been fined $215,073.53 for the conduct detrimental to the team, and his guarantees were now effectively voided. September the 7th, AB sent the email to ESPN Jeff Darlington and told him, took away my guarantees. He later added, no way I'll play after they took that and made my contract week to week. Now, why was his contract voided? When he signed with the Raiders, there was a clause in his contract that if he was suspended by the league or our team for conduct detrimental to the team, the cap guarantee would be voided and the individual would earn their salary on a week-to-week basis. His $29.1 million guarantee in his contract was voided. To make matters worse, he already lost $500K of his $1 million workout bonus. According to SportsRack, the $1 million signing bonus was 2 $500,000 workout bonuses, and because he didn't attend 85% of the off-season program, he lost that money. And because he wouldn't be on the roster for week 1, other half, so the Raiders paid him $0. A little after 6 a.m., he posted on Instagram, "You are going to piss a lot of people off when you start doing what's best for you," adding, "And that's fine. I have worked my whole life to prove the system is blind to see talent like mine. Now that everyone sees it and they want me to conform to the same system that has failed me all those years, I'm not mad at anyone. I'm just asking for freedom to prove them all wrong. Release me at Raiders, no more. Hours later, the Raiders granted his request and released him. And Antonio Brown was so happy he posted this clip. Now, this clip is pure foolishness. I'm all for players getting their money, but AB is a clown. Many people hope for the opportunity that he's been given. He lost $30 million in guaranteed money because he didn't want to follow a simple rule. He wanted to do whatever AB wanted to do. And he felt the team should be grateful that he was on their team. And initially, the Raiders were patient with him and bended to his demands because they wanted him on the team. Yet he acted like a fool through the entire offseason. He left training camp over a helmet dispute and they didn't fine him. He wasn't fined until he traveled with them to Canada and chose not to go to walkthrough. He didn't have to play a single preseason game. He was just asked to show up and his money would have been guaranteed on Monday, September the 9th. But Mr. Big Chest couldn't do that. Show how arrogant and narcissistic he was. And instead of taking responsibility for his actions, he blamed everyone else and acted like the victim. Yet he got another chance. At 4 p.m. that day, news broke that Antonio Brown was headed to Foxborough. He agreed to a one-year contract with $9 million guaranteed, with incentives that would potentially make it worth $15 million. September the 10th, when the Patriots officially announced that they signed AB, other reports came out that a civil lawsuit had been filed against him, accusing him of sexual assault. Now, the league responded that they'd been made aware of the matter and was investigating the claim, but no disciplinary action would be taken at that moment. And last time gracing a field in a Patriots uniform. September 16th, Sports Illustrated published an article reporting a second incident involving another female who accused Antonio Brown of sexually assaulting her. But the article also attacked AB's character by accusing him of charity theft, exposing multiple domestic violence incidents, and a long list of unpaid debts. Now, Antonio Brown's lawyer would send out a letter stating that the claims brought against his clients are false. Claims brought against his client were false, and they would be countersuing the alleged victim. Now, this is standard protocol, so everything went back to normal, right? Wrong. Next day, text messages from Antonio Brown to his first accuser leaked. The text messages, he's cussing her out. September 19th, he also sent an infuriating text to his second accuser, who shared them with Sports Illustrated, who posted and shared said text with the world and the NFL. September 20th, AB is released from the Patriots 2 days before he would receive his first installment of his guaranteed money, which would have been $5 million. However, he wouldn't ever see that money. Instead of staying off of social media and letting the lawyers handle the situation, October 16th, he filed a grievance with the NFL seeking to recoup more than $40 million. But things still didn't turn around for AB. January 13th of 2020, AB posted a video on social media platforms of him cussing out his baby mama and the cops. January 16th, his longtime agent, Drew Rosenhaus, quit. And on January 24th, he was arrested for alleged assault. However, AB would eventually humble himself and apologize to his baby mother, NFL, and former team and teammates. At this present moment, he is working hard to get back into the NFL, and hopefully everything works out for him because he's truly gifted. Thanks for watching. Tell me what you think.